Good evening, friends. Tonight I'm flying the Dash 8 Q400. We're just heading up to Salt Lake City, but I decided that I need to work a little bit more on my 8 Days of Dash 8 series. And I'm sorry about the audio in the last video. I'm trying to work it out for this one. We're going to be looking at ice protection and anti-ice on board. And it's perfect weather that time of year. Um, So what we're going to be looking at here is, first of all, we have our windshield controls. So we have heat off, warm up, and norm. So on the ground, during normal operation, please keep this off. It's better to keep this system um, off during higher temperature days. Warm it up on the ground if it is pretty cold outside for windshield heat mid-flight. What you're going to need to do with warming up is it's going to use a small cycle. It uses a longer cycle with normal mode, but the warm-up mode I normally use on the ground um, while just sitting there at the gate, just so it runs some small cycles to make sure that that windshield doesn't freeze up. On the other side of the wiper switch, we have the pilot side window heat, which is right here. I always turn that on whenever it's warm outside, or not warm, sorry about that, when it's extra cold outside. It's once again just on and off right here, and I normally use that for whenever I'm doing colder operations. So just like this, I treat like my window heat switch, which it is. Windshield wiper, I'm not going to turn that on because of my speed, which it's not going to break, but in real life it would break past a certain threshold. I'm unsure what the speed would be, but I usually use 150 knots or less as a gauge to turn it on. Low switches it to low mode, high switches it to high mode. When you switch it to wiper off, the wiper is going to stop in its current position, and then just drive it over to park. You also have alternate windshield controls down here. Let me turn on my flashlight. Where is that alternate wiper switch? Here it is. So you're going to press that button right there, and that's going to drive the wiper at high speed if your main wiper switch is not working. And then you also have an ice detection light. The pilot and co-pilot have that, so they'll press that, and you can see the light right there. And so you can, it's actually right here, so you can detect ice in some specific harder to see areas. Moving on, up on the overhead here we have our pitot-static heaters. Once again, they're always turned on for flight because you don't want these to freeze up. These give you your airspeed and altitude indication. Just make sure that pitot-static heaters 1 and 2 are on, and the standby heater is on. I actually have my prop heat on. I can turn that off because I don't need that on anymore. I have my boot air isolation on, which is normal operation. It's not, and normal operation is not normal. Normal operation is isolate. That's to isolate system 1 from system 2. It's almost like the bus tie that I described, how you can keep one bus tie, or you can where you turn on the bus tie and you can tie the two independent buses together, or you can isolate it. I have it isolate right now, so engine 1 is controlling the left system and engine 2 is controlling the right system. You can actually see that indication down here. In normal operation, when the switch is in the normal mode, you'll see these both at the same level, and this is just the de-ice pressure in both separate independent systems. You can see 1 and 2. You also have the windshield wiper ice detection right here. You can see that once again. So back up here, we have our reference speeds increase. This is for icing conditions. You'll turn that on, and I'm going to have a ding happen, I believe. No, I'm not. But I'm going to have a indication here saying increase reference speed, and I will also get that indication when it asks me to. That'll increase my reference speeds for flight because of the actual... Oh, and XPilot is doing some stuff here because my FPS is less than 20. That's all right. If it auto-disconnects me, let me just... Oh, it's now running in real time. Never mind. Normally this is just up and in the off position, which I believe in real life there is another off position which is even higher than that. But if we increase the reference speed, then we can increase our speed reference. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Prop test. If I hit it to test, it's going to test each prop for 5 seconds. These are the prop heaters. You need to remember that those are heaters. So if I go test, so you have the right prop right there. Oh, I'm overspeeding. Let's put that down into flight high and put us over into, nope, MCR, so maximum cruise there. And we'll also make sure, yep, those are off. So it'll heat each prop for 5 seconds. On, when switch to the on mode, it'll do the same thing, but within less time, and constantly heat each other prop. Engine intake. This is very, very important. Imagine a Boeing 737 where you turn on constant ignition during taxi, takeoff, and landing. This opens a bypass ignition door, like a secondary air door, like a Concorde. I understand most of you haven't flown the Concorde on simulators or in real life. I don't think any of you have, which is completely fine. But with the engine intake doors, these are going to open smaller doors under the engines. So we'll press that. The lights are going to turn off. We'll look outside, and just barely directly under the engine, my mouse is going to hover right over that. Oh, there it is. My mouse is over it. That door is open. And it'll say open and heater. When the air temperature is greater than 15 degrees Celsius, it'll just say open, and it'll open it. It'll turn on the heater. Those are used so you're not going to suck up debris on the runway. Our airframe mode select, same thing as the prop, but you need to remember these are icing boots. These are not used during normal operation. You don't want to turn these on like an anti-ice switch. This is a de-icing system. This is not a preventative system. This is to stop ice when it is forming. So you switch to slow, and it'll take a sec, and it will inflate boots in the specific positions that it displays up here. On a slow tempo, I like it how I say tempo, on a slow tempo right here, or on a fast tempo right here, and it will constantly switch. If you need to, if there's a specific area that you're trying to hit, which is getting battered more with ice, you'll switch it over to manual, and then you have these two off positions up here, or I can set the switch directly to the position that I want to target, which you can just follow the dot in the line there. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching our 8 Days of Dash 8.